In 1969, the Apollo 11 moon landing, one of the greatest conspiracies to have shook the world, will finally be unveiled in this video. Whether it really happened or was it just a scripted play that took part in a studio rather than the moon? Stick around because in this video, we will be debunking one of the greatest conspiracies to exist. So, was this real? Or was it just a gimmick that managed to fool millions around the world? Starting off with this clip, carefully watch how the flag could be seen to be waving just as one of the astronauts passes by it. It would take a 12-year-old to identify that space is a vacuum and that there is no matter present in space, which means it is not possible for air to be present as there are no particles in the air for waves to be passed along. And no, I don't mean this kind of vacuum. I meant the vacuum present in space where no matter exists. Or, in simple words, there are no particles present in the atmosphere for a wave to be generated, which in this case is wind that caused the flag to wave. So how did the flag move, you may ask? This is because one of the astronauts could have come in contact with it as he passed, creating the illusion of the flag waving. In reality, the flag was just getting back to its original position very slowly as there is no air resistance present in space. However, there is no clear evidence whether or not the flag came in contact with one of the astronauts. So, this is not a very reliable source of getting to know whether or not the moon landing is a historical moment in history. Moving on, watch this next clip on Neil Armstrong bouncing around on what we are made to believe is the moon. Observe the background. Where are the stars, you may ask? Do not get fooled by the gravity either, as it could be easily mimicked using a harness and suspension system, giving the fake illusion of gravity. Although it cannot be seen in this clip, it is not so hard to hide it. In simple terms, no stars were seen in the Apollo 11 moon landing photos because the camera settings were made for bright light, not the faint light of stars. Here's why. The moon's surface is very bright because sunlight hits it directly. The astronauts' suits were also bright white. To take clear pictures of the astronauts and the surface, the camera had to use a fast shutter speed and low exposure, just like on a sunny day on Earth. But stars are very dim compared to the sunlit surface. The camera wasn't set to capture faint light. So, the stars were too faint to appear in the photos, just like how you don't see stars in photos taken during the day on Earth. Right finger, the stars were there, the camera just couldn't capture them. A real-life example of this is to stand near a street lamp and take pictures of the starry night sky. Notice how your mobile camera will ignore the faint light of the stars due to the bright exposure of the street lamp. This theory could also be proven false, but however, wait about, because we have more pieces of evidence of why the moon landing could be false that are very astonishing and would keep you awake all night long. The surface of the moon is very bumpy and filled with craters. So how did the astronauts get to this very smooth surface, you may ask? Well, they each started sanding down the surface of the moon with a piece of sandpaper. Nah, I am obviously joking. Instead, NASA cleverly addressed these claims of the surface not being on the moon by choosing to locate the moon landing near one of the biggest craters on the moon, which is the Sea of Tranquility. Here the surface of the moon is smooth, just like what was shown on television 56 years ago. Further on, a shocking clip on Buzz Aldrin denying the moon landing ever happening is shown in this following clip.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen...
What more evidence would you need than a former NASA scientist, astronaut who took part in Apollo 11 moon landing denying that the landing ever happened? This evidence could also be backed up with the fact that ever since 56 years ago, mankind has not visited the moon yet to this day. In 2010, a popular conspirator demanded several scientists, ex-astronauts and even one of NASA administrators to swear on the Bible based about the authenticity of the moon landing and it being all real. However, all of them failed to do so. A clip of Buzz Aldrin could be seen here denying to swear on the Bible.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
I'm not trying to get in the middle of anything.
You tell him to get out of here.
This is a hotel.
Although they could have rejected doing so based on it being seen to be disrespectful, swearing on the Bible just to prove a conspirator wrong, it is astonishing how all failed to do so. Well, has anyone else noticed that Earth was not shown from the moon with an astronaut in frame? Why would anyone miss the opportunity after all the hard work and struggles needed to get to this point? Could this be because us humans never truly went there? Well, there is not really a way of telling gathering all this evidence together. However, I do not believe that the Apollo 11 moon landing was real, considering the fact that we have not walked on the moon ever since 1972. Could it have possibly been that all the Apollo missions were false? Leave your opinions and thoughts in the comments to let me know what you think. This was my first video on my channel. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, or even just a positive comment in the comments. And please tell me what I can improve.